not, the side lanes are pushed. Because TL is in a position where they actually don't want to just 5v5 the GP of Felios Orianna, so they're doing everything they can to push these side waves and avoid initiation. So far it's worked out, but one mistake could mean the game.
All right, Dignitas, let's see what you can do here. Mid lane inhibitor turret being attacked, down to about half HP. Dig don't want to overcommit. Jensen is in the bottom lane. The inhibitor is exposed. And for those of you who want a translation of that AP into raw damage, if he hits his overload on a target marked with a spell flux, it'll do a little bit over 1200 before magic resistance on a spammable spell. Very, very scary to have to deal with this guy in a side lane. Yeah. Dignitas doesn't seem to really have much of an answer to that. You can see Huni's build, still no magic resistance on the Gangplank, wants to go with a full damage approach, has full CDR, has the big damage crit items, has another cloak in the inventory to continue working towards that. But man, is this scary. If you mess up even once, Jensen takes the game.
Yeah, no one building any MR don't really have the greatest windows to do so because of the way they want to team fight, but it's not even about like can't side lane against him. Like you can just look at waves. If he ever sees you, he goes for you. But Baron's up. They will have to 50-50 this, and they still probably lose their inhibitor. This is the difficult call for Dignitas.
Let's see if they stick with it though. Grig is in the pit, the Baron down to 1/3. Grig half HP, damage over the wall coming in from double lift. Froggen is rooted up.
They're committed. I mean, Jensen just took the inhib, so...
Inhib is gone. You have to fight for this if you're Dignitas. CoreJJ going to be there on the front line, having to flash away. Stoneplate keeping him alive. Nice ulti coming down onto 2. Schernfire going to be taking low. Froggen on a rampage. CoreJJ gone. But Jensen is still in the base. Impact's being chased out. Dignitas has to fall back. Their base is under pressure. Huni's made his way back. It is a 1-death trade for an inhib on the side of Team Liquid.
TL takes those. It's more power for Jensen, it's more inhibitor power, and the Elder Drake is up. While everyone on Dignitas is on reset, Jensen gets the jump for it.
Remember what I said, if Elder Drake comes up and you're not in control of the map, is this a bad thing to take the Dragon Soul this early? And it looks like Dignitas will now have to contest for this. If you can't deal with Ryze, I'm pretty sure EQ with Elder Drake just kills anybody.
And Grig's Stoneplate is on cooldown, plus he's half health. This is the same thing we just saw. But actually, Team Liquid says it's not worth trying to 50-50. It goes over. I mean, Schernfire is low, Doublelift is in base. They're just rushing the Baron.
All right, they're trading Uber buff for Uber buff. Team Liquid going after the Baron, but Dignitas not willing to concede. It's Huni in the bottom lane. Could he be ready? It's Infernal Soul with Elder Drake. It's going to be explosions and lasers and explosions and lasers. Oh. It is secured by Schernfire, who is immediately destroyed. Trade for junglers. Grig's over the wall, but he's taken down. More damage coming through. CoreJJ trying to walk out of that Gangplank ulti. 1 for 1, 1 super buff on each side. What a game.
Wow. Sometimes I talk about risk tolerance. You know how risky it is to put your whole team in a pit when the other team has Infernal Soul and Elder and a level 17 Orianna?
And a Gangplank.
And you know what happens?
You get Baron.
Baron! Like, that was the risk that they took, but they get the payout. They deny Baron from Dignitas. It's going to be incredibly hard in the next 2 minutes for Dig to actually get a fight with the way Jensen has master manipulation of these side waves. And it looks like TL, as weird as it sounds, just keeps kind of stacking their advantages, even though they're not the team with Soul and they're not the team with Elder.
The Elder will despawn 15 seconds or so before the Baron power play does. Dignitas would like to try to find a fight in that window, but I highly doubt Team Liquid will give them one unless Dig pulls off something just absolutely crazy.
I don't know if they can get
and Aphromoo coming in for the collapse, but Afromoo's health just evaporates. Jensen walking away, but a nice shot comes out from Johnson, and the damage comes down. Jensen is out of the picture for 60 seconds. Yes, it's a 1-for-1 in a 4v1, but you take those if it gets rid of the Ryze.
Yeah, are we sure Aphromoo was there? Because he's not there anymore.
He was a faint memory in the top lane.
Yeah, and that was what I was saying. Aphromoo was too early to that play, and Jensen knows how powerful he was. Nearly got out. That could have been just a mega hero moment, but it just kind of adds to the stall. Once Jensen is down, the split push does stop. Let's watch this again. I mean, it's not that complicated. It's EQ, EQ.
EQ, EQ,
Yeah.
EQ, EQ.
Yeah, he only needed the first two because he's done the other work, and then Froggen got enough damage right before the Realm Warp goes off.
Must be so easy to be Rise. Your alphabet only has 2 letters in it. Either way, it's a push coming up from Dignitas here in the mid lane. Double is going to be forced to flash away. Core JJ under pressure now. Impact's taken into the Resurrection. Guardian Angel coming out there, but Double Lift. Wham, bam, that's the shot you need. Grig will now be slammed into the ground. And as Dig try to punish TL, they are the ones who overcommit.
Wow. Elder Dragon is now gone. I wonder, actually, how much TL can get off of this. These are very long death timers. There is an exposed bottom lane. This is at least another inhib, but there's a chance they go for the game with how tanky Core JJ can be and keeping these minions alive.
I mean, you've got Jensen back. You can blow the remaining members up so easy. The Gangplank ulti is used, trying to clear out the waves. Team Liquid, they're just soaking it. They take down the inhibitor turret. Inhibitor now the target. Dignitas has to pull off the defense here. Team Liquid rotating down to the bottom side. They know they've got another wave right there. They'll walk this one in. It's 2 waves. Inhib now the target. The Realm Warp used wonderfully for that. Jensen making full use of the Rise kit here. Aframu finds a hook, but it's only onto Core JJ. Grig going in, he's able to find the Cataclysm onto 3. Damage going through, Jensen shut down. Oh my goodness gracious! It's a double kill for Johnson. It's a team fight for Dig. Double Lift's looking to make some kind of a fight, but Grig will keep him busy. Stasis coming out, and D-Lift is the one man standing on the side of Team Liquid.
From one side to the other, now we're wondering if Dig can end, because Huni has been escorting that wave in the mid lane, and everyone on Dignitas is still alive. If he can keep those minions there, and they can stop this Double Lift recall,
protect the VIP minions, the name of the game for Dignitas.
Aframu's looking for him. If he can stop this recall, I think the game is over.
Aframu has to stop it. He doesn't get there in time. Double Lift makes his way back to the base, and how far will Dig go? It's 7 seconds on Core JJ. It is 8 on Schernfire. The Dig push continues. The game ends here, one way or the other. Nexus turret's under fire. Core JJ and Double Lift looking to stop him. Damage coming through. Dignitas members, they've targeted the Nexus. They'll take it down. Team Liquid falls to Dignitas.
And Dignitas stays undefeated to start the year. Flowers, that was a back and forth battle. Dragon Soul, Elder Dragon, you were never sure if it was gonna be enough. Ultimately, it was.
What a slugfest. It looked like Team Liquid were the ones getting the punish on Dignitas for trying to push the base too hard. But TL says, no, we can win the game right here. They go for the final inhibitor push, and as they're going to take that 3rd inhib, Dig is swift, they make the strike, and that's exactly what I was talking about when I said I want to see these teams play confidently against Liquid. That was the Chad play right there. It was time to put up or shut up, and Dig put up.
I mean, you could see TL was going for the jugular there when they Realm Warped in to try and get that 3rd inhibitor. If you get the 3rd inhibitor, right, with the split push that they had, the game was going to end one way or the other. It really did come down to that defining moment. And 41 minutes of Dignitas trying to get that big all-in team fight, and that last one was finally Cataclysm into Infernum of Assault with a Shockwave.
With Infernal Drake Soul.
Yeah.
It was just pop. You saw Jensen was the first one to explode in the fight, and that is so critical, because we saw what he can do if he's left alive for any amount of time. It's exactly what Dig needed. And damn if you are not elated as a Dignitas fan seeing that one, seeing them take down TL. As you already said, though, at the beginning of the game, taken with a grain of salt, Brox is not here.
Right.
But a win against TL is still a win against TL, and that bodes very well moving forward.
Yeah, just going through the season, this is still an incredibly new roster. So
yes,
it's a win against TL. They only have to play them one more time throughout the year. That one will probably be with Broxa, but it's still a great sign.
You're halfway done if you're Dignitas, but let's go ahead and send things down to Riv. He's ready with an interview with the Dignitas jungler.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am joined by Dig Grig as they dig down deep and take down Team Liquid today. An undefeated spring record, but just go over the end of that game or even the whole game quickly. What were the communications like? It seemed super intense.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty hard to deal with the Rise at the end of the game. So he was just constantly splitting. So we realized we had to like push him out so he can end the game and then just look for a team fight. Honestly, they ended up just making a mistake at the end of the game and taking a front on 5v5 with us. So we were able to win it and end up getting the win there. Yeah.
God, it sounds so much easier when you say it, Greg. Looking at how you're doing, we know last year and for a bit you've been plagued with the wrist issues, but it seems like you're feeling great. Can you talk to us a bit about that?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling a lot better now. You know, it's happened to other pros as well. So, you know, players like Mickey X, Licorice, and they've all managed to come back. So that was pretty encouraging for me. So, yeah, my wrist is fine now. So it's good, yeah.
It's great to see you're getting back into form. Greg, you've been on many teams back from TSM, Echo, Fox, and it keeps going back before that. Do you notice any differences here with Dignitas? Obviously, you guys are undefeated, and that always feels good. It's hard to find the errors in wins, but what's different about this team that you think's making it click?
I think Hooney's definitely a very interesting player to play with. He's super commanding and puts the team together. So I think that's a player I haven't worked with someone like that before, so that's one difference. But I mean, you know, the teams I've been on have also been fun before, so this one's really fun as well, and yeah, it's going well.
Greg, thanks for taking the time. Congratulations on the undefeated record for spring, and we're gonna throw it to the State Farm analyst desk to break that one down.
Thank you very much, Rislin Bislin. Welcome to the State Farm analyst desk. This was a hype game.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Mark Z, who called that team
Just like I thought it would happen.
will lose, and Dignitas. Woo, woo.
Oh, that's right. They're an owl now.
Yeah, they're an owl. Who could have predicted this?
I did, but not like this. This was a very strange game. Lots
knew
of
it was
back
gonna
and
be like
forth.
this.
Dragon Soul. Other team gets double Baron.
Yeah.
Last second kill to be able to finish the game. It was really insane.
Yeah, it was a little fast. And when I mean fast, I mean it was not fast at all, and that was an extremely slow game.
Sure.
That was a really big buildup of all the Drakes that, I think the first Drake was something like 13 minutes.
Yeah,
14 minutes?
14 and change.
Yeah, so it was definitely like a really slow Drake game. I do appreciate a lot of the macro. I think Dig had some really strong swaps in there. And I don't know, the bot lane matchup that we were talking about wasn't as volatile as I thought. I know Dig first picked that Thresh, so they had a strong matchup. But eventually we got into this like swapping position where Dig is just constantly swapping away from Doublelift over and over again.
Yeah, Doublelift had I think around a 10 CS lead.
11 CS lead, but it was like only like a 33 gold lead.
Right. It was keeping in line with what we had seen, at least about the CSD, about debuts against Doublelift. But the fact that they were able to offset that, like you're saying with the swapping, was really good to see. As well as, while they were doing that, they were still getting all the dragons so that they could get the early soul because they only needed 2 more, and they continued to control. It had a really good job getting mid-priority before going for those dragons.
Yeah, and this was a really interesting game, I thought, because the swap at 8 minutes is not crazy nowadays.
No,
8-minute swap
common.
is pretty standard, but usually during this time, we see a dragon dead, so the swap, like, well, you know they can't take a dragon when you swap. Anyways, once we saw the swap, I think 3 pretty strong reasons. 1, Dig is swapping away from Doublelift, who's known to be a lane player. Pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Second one, they're playing against Gangplank. He has a pretty disruptive ultimate. When you try to swap, he can give you so much tempo by just deleting all the minions, keeping your turret alive. And then third, they're playing against Senna, and I did not realize how painfully slow Senna is at taking these objectives. There's that clip we just had where Nautilus and Senna are just whacking the turret, trying to take it down, and they can't, and you see Dig on the bot side took 2 turrets before they could take 1.
Yep, so the early game, it ended up still fairly close overall. Gold was pretty neck and neck despite the dragon difference and those swap differences, but we had some big fights here. Jensen splitting bot while TL sets up for Baron. You mentioned Senna killing objective slow, also kills objective slow up in this side of the map.
Finds the side lane. Rise in the side lane. What do you know? NA is dealing it.
Yeah, well, we're in NA.
But what's really important here is when Dig contests, look how long they spend on Core JJ. Both Hooney and Johnson, instead of following up on where Johnson landed his ult, Doublelift and Jensen get super low, but they get caught up on Core JJ. Good job by Core JJ presenting himself as a target. Dig deserves a little bit of criticism for focusing on hitting him so hard. They could have kind of just tried to run past him and get the actual carries who were low, and Baron was low, and so it would have created a tough situation for TL to peel off at 800, 400 health or to finish the Baron. But, I mean, good job for TL staying focused. Good job for Core JJ distracting.
Yeah, a couple of I think interesting points there is the first time we saw Jensen split in the bot lane, didn't have TP up to join the squad, and so when he got the inhibitor at the first time and no one really contested him, there's actually no threat on Baron, right? It's just the Senna Aatrox when it happens. The second time he has TP, that's when they actually send the Thresh and the Orianna down. TP's topside, now it's 5v3 on Baron. They get the Baron that time around, right? And so you have to make sure you're actually tracking, because Rise is the objective killer. Like that has to be part of the squad, which means he has to burn that 6-minute cooldown in order to make those come through. Very fortunate for Dignitas that they managed to pick off Grig both times to set up their other objective takes. That kill right there from that replay is why they got the Dragon Soul. The second one's how they got Elder Dragon. We do have one final replay of the last fight of the game, which was a doozy.
Yeah, I mean, this is the point in time where you think it's all over, but a huge purple ultimate from Johnson sets up a monster wombo with Grig, as well as Huni landing a barrel, blowing up the front line. Yeah, everyone just blown up right at the beginning, so there's only a couple people left alive. Doublelift does his best to try and turn this one, but there's just not enough support from the rest of the team.
Yeah, at this point, like, Johnson is just way too strong, and this is actually, his purple R initiation actually caught out Doublelift in the mid lane. I think it initiated like 2 other fights, so yeah. I'm gonna keep calling it purple R because that's just the way I know it, but I'm telling you, that's a good skill to follow.
Gravitum.
Yeah. That is the skill to be using to catch people. It's just like the Varus, but longer range, and it feels better.
Yeah, really good skill. I mean, as you mentioned, it picked up Doublelift earlier in the game, which set up some of the other parts of this one. Definitely close one, though. We were kind of taking a lot of time going back and forth, looking at each of these plays. There were several times where it might have looked like, oh, you know, Team Liquid just like gave away a dragon, but it's like, well, it was a 4v5 on the map, and you know, a lot of times like they got what they could. They got like a top tier 2, and they forced the Orion on the other side of the map. Like there are a lot of really tight calls.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the goal graph was back and forth. There was even that play where Schernfire had a good insect kick into Froggen when they were pushing down the mid inhibitor turrets. Like everyone at different points in that game stepped up and looked really impressive.
Yep, I like both teams, both very strong squads. And if all that action has got you amped, join us here tomorrow at the LCS Studios. Get your tickets at riot.com/LCS tickets. It's time for another break, but when we return, it's Cloud9 versus Immortals. See you there.
A strong week 1 performance from both mid laner. Who will be the differences in this showdown?
Wait, not a strong performance from the jungler? The
Wait, you were playing last week?
There is. Huni's going in. It's also going to be a play here in the mid lane. Jensen's going to be taken down. First blood.
So that's nice, but for now, don't like it.
Ooh, Doublelift getting caught out there. Flash follow from Afromoo. Oh, baby. Rises get really scary when there's no answer in the side lane. Gangplank at least has the ability to blow up the wave. But you had to make me a liar, man.
Looking. I'm on Rise right now.
I'm ulting, I'm ulting.
Yeah,
go. Right there, boys, right there. Let's go.
Keep moving.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. Send it in the bush, send it in the bush.
Congrats, Kim. You got your own car with your own insurance.
No more driving that old hand-me-down.
Did you trade it in?
My parents handed it down to my little brother.
You ready?
Yeah.
Surprise!
No. Not beige Betty. You guys can't do this to me. Seriously?
My car is like a rite of passage.
How do you expect me to drive this?
Just turn the key and yeah, it's just
some of this.
It's automatic, dual cup holders.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Every click.
Every frame.
Every press.
Every sound.
They're playing aggressive.
I'll take mid. Every advantage.
When the difference
Between winning and losing
is measured in milliseconds.
Everything. Everything.
Everything counts.
The Alienware Legendary Battle Station.
So happy to have you back here for Game 3, where we've got Cloud9 versus Immortals. Let's go ahead, waste no time, and look at the starting rosters here for game number 3. Selecting blue side, it's Cloud9. They've got Licorice in the top lane, Flabber in the jungle, Niski at mid, Sven and Vulcan bot lane and support, with coaches Reaper and Westrice.
Cloud9 has looked like such a good team so far. Squaring off against them on the red side, it is Immortals with Soaz in the top lane, Smithy in the jungle, Aika in mid lane, Altek and Hakuho in the bot lane, and Zabutin and Goduan in the coaching role.
And Immortals have a tall task going into week 2 here because, as you said, Cloud9 are looking like they picked up right where they left off back last summer here in spring.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even better. Sven and Vulcan looked incredible in just 1 week. They looked like the cleanest team in the LCS. I mean, their first game was a sub 25-minute victory over TL. Yes, there'll be that asterisk there because of the jungle, but then you also look at their Golden Guardians game, just playing side lane so incredibly well, bouncing back and forth, coming in, killing Keith 5 times. I think at one point, Keith was 0-5-0 because of how well C9 was bouncing around the map. Like, it looked to me like a bunch of teams were in week 1 form, and then Cloud9 was already a good team. So if they can keep that up coming into week 2, they're gonna be scary.
And going up against Immortals, this was a team that before the split started, a lot of people had them pretty low on power rankings, but
yeah,
in week 1, they got a surprise win over TSM, so you can't go counting them out just yet. There is a lot of experience, a lot of veteran experience on this team.
Yeah, Altek just kind of went into his, time chamber and then just found his way back into the LCS. He was just seemingly gone for about a year, boot camped in Korea, and his Ezreal game, a champion a lot of people had forgotten about. He found just the right situation to pick it in and was a big reason that they were able to beat TSM in that 60-minute game. I mean, looking at some of his numbers, 538 damage per minute, 35% of his team's damage, a very high percentage for a lot of the AD carries, looked solid and gives you a little bit of hope for Immortals going forward.
Yeah, and I like that they picked it into a game where it made sense. You're not just... So many times we saw Ezreal throughout history as the pick for, I don't know what to do in bottom lane, I'm just going to sit there so we can sack this lane and farm from range. But they picked it against a team that had Rumble, and Rumble has pretty much no way to ever close distance onto Ezreal. Yeah. He can get the first tick of the equalizer off on you and you just E out of it, and oh, okay, I don't care anymore. So really like the adaptation there, making sure they were playing into the situation. Let's start off the draft now. First ban coming out from C9 is Soraka. They don't want to deal with any of that bot lane or top lane Soraka tech that's new age these days. Also banning out the Lucian and the Set. Immortals ban out Braum. I'll give you one guess. Close your eyes if you haven't seen it already on what thing they banned out. Otherwise, hint, hint, it's Akali, and we'll see what the last one is.
I thought you were going to predict the final ban. I'm like, oh, what's Flowers going for? There's a lot
no,
of
I'm just making it Akali's always banned, Joe.
Yeah, it's true. 100%. Lucian as well, falling to the ban phase. Rumble, even something that Immortals was good against last week, also going banned. And the first pick, Tom Kench, that is a little bit interesting to me, but just with how good Sven and Vulcan looked on Aphelios, Tom Kench last week, they'd be comfortable doing that. I think they'd also be comfortable doing Senna Tom Kench.
Yep, you can also put Misfortune in there too next to him because he's able to keep her safe as well. It just is an on switch for a lot of AD carries that are otherwise really worried about vulnerability and positioning. Speaking of positioning, nothing to knock you out of your position like one of those big casks coming in from the fat man. Gragas locked in for Immortals. Smith, you'll be piloting it.
Yeah, Gragas has just this incredible win rate in the LEC, actually. And I do know, especially with Soaz having a lot of connections, Aika coming from the French League, also Zabutin being a French caster, would, I think, look a lot more to the LEC than maybe a lot of LCS teams and determining what like a jungle power pick could be, because we've seen Gragas fall through a lot of pick ban phases just today, but a very early lock-in here for Morris.
And there's the Senna locked in for the side of Cloud9, so we are going to see Senna TK there in the bottom lane. Also making sure they pick up a jungler before the jungle bans are able to come through, pinch that pool really hard in the second phase. They want some AP in there, also a powerful level 3 ganker once again with the Elise. And back over to Immortals, what's it going to be to complement the Thresh? We'll see if we get full mirror picks in the first 3 here yet again.
Yeah, probably Aphelios, but it has been a different type of bot lane. Cassiopeia was actually a bot lane pick for Altek in week 1, so it's flexible. This very well could be their bot lane locked in.
We'll see. I do like the prevalence of flex picks, though, when teams like to use those and confuse their opponents, make them second guess on what they want to be banning. But we do know that neither side has a top laner. We may see some top lane bans. We did already see the Set banned away, Soraka banned away. There's a top lane ban coming out in the Ornn. Immortals not wanting to deal with that infinite scaling if Cloud9 wanted to pick.
Yeah, Cloud9, when they try and round out the rest of this composition, I do wonder where they're going to find their damage, because specifically objective damage. Like right now, their Baron take is just so super slow. A lot of teams picking Senna haven't necessarily put it with high DPS mid laners, but I personally would like to see that change, whether it's in the top lane or the mid lane. Maybe we'll end up seeing a carry pick out of Licorice up top, but that's yet to be said.
Cloud9 will respond with a top lane ban of their own here. Renekton taken away. Although they have the Elise themselves, Renekton Elise is sometimes one of those topside wombo combos that you can just absolutely destroy the enemy top laner with. They clearly don't want to play it this time around. They don't want to open up their opponents to be able to lock that one in either. Aatrox, all right, it's all about top lane. Both sides are just saying, all right, whatever, focus that top half of the map.
Yeah, Soa's going to be pulling out a new pick. He was a 2-time Aatrox as of last week. We could be getting some carry versus carry stuff up in that top lane. That would be exciting.
What's it going to be, Cloud9? One more to go. Do they want to look towards another one of the champion pools? Is there an 80 carry they want to ban out, maybe? Or are they confident that Cassiopeia is going to the bottom side? It will be a Felios, so they don't want to have to deal with that, him being another one of those champions that's very popular as of recently.
Yeah, don't want to say, hey, we're sure that it's going to be Cassio bot again. It's smarter to do it this way. Now we're going to get to see a little bit more finality on what this composition could look like. They do need physical damage somewhere.
Well, if you want some physical damage and you've got a Gragas on your team, there you go.
You know, I'm liking these Immortals drafts. They're giving us diversity. We got the Trundle in week 1. We got the Cassio bot. We got the Zoe Ezreal poke comp. And a Pantheon. This is good. This is good.
So this Pantheon Elise works very similarly to Renekton Elise.
Yeah.
Because it's point and click stun. Elise follows up with a cocoon. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. They're bursted down. Adios, 300 gold.
About time we see some Pantheon in the LCS. It was basically perma pick ban in the week and a half of LPL that we saw. And then it hit NA and just nobody was touching it, which was just really strange.
A karma.
So I was excited about the Yasuo and the Pantheon. I'm not as excited about the Karma, especially... Immortals did this last week, where they picked a champion the patch before it got buffed. So they did it with Trundle between 10-1 and 10-2, and now they're doing it with top lane Karma between 10-2 and 10-3. Compositionally, like, the Cassio does look like it's going to be bottom lane, pending a last-second swap, which they could do. The comp doesn't look bad for Immortals. Yasuo Gragas is a classic mid-lane duo of power.
Yeah, if you look over on the side of Cloud9, they're also very AD heavy.
Yeah.
Senna, Pantheon, Gangplank. Of course, Gangplank has the magic damage from his ultimate, so that's a little bit not AD, I guess. But the main AP threat here is Elise. If Elise falls behind the curve of the game and you've got some Ninja Tabbies and an Hourglass with your Gragas, you feel pretty comfortable initiating into a squad like this pretty much all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen such varied games today. We saw the first game with COG where we got the Kale versus Set, like super late game. We had that amazing back and forth, like meta composition team between Dignitas and TL. And now we get this where the only player to play Cassio bot lane in the LCS pulls it back out again. We get the Yasuo and Karma coming out of solo lanes. And we see our first LCS Pantheon. I'm excited.
And with how good Cloud9 looked in week number 1, if Immortals wins this, I think this is the one that changes the minds of a lot of people who are doubting Immortals.
Yes.
Because, yes, they beat TSM. Yes, that was a surprise. I think you could comb the depths of the internet and not find a whole lot of people who think TSM are doing real hot right now. TSM, Immortals played better than what people were expecting. TSM also played worse. So let's see if Immortals can now step up and take down a team that everybody else is hype on, because that says a lot to me.
Yeah, and I am very hype on C9 after week 1, to be completely clear. Like, the expectations for this team got set very high for me after seeing their performance with the 24-minute win over Liquid, and then just the way they manipulated side waves against the Golden Guardians. Adding on top of how clean and effective their bottom lane looked. So I'm just expecting a high level of execution from C9 if they're looking to carry through. And that's why, as you mentioned, it would be very impressive if Immortals pulls out a win.
And as we wait for the action to truly break out with the minions, let's go ahead and check in. We got a sideline report with Zabuti.
Thanks, guys. Here was Zabuteen. Rough week for Immortals, little shaky. What was the difference made coming into week 2?
I mean, for week 1, we had exactly 2 days of Scrim, so it was borderline playable. So the win has to be put on the players. The staff borderline didn't do anything beside the draft. We're still trying to find our identity as a team. It takes a little bit more time than like 6 days. So we're kind of heading games. The draft might seem a little bit weird for some people, but I mean, it's kind of like in the process of finding how we want to play the game, and let's hope for a win today.
And now that everyone has had more than those 2 days of practice, how's everyone gelling together?
I mean, it's pretty good. As I say, it's a slow process. Sometimes it clicks in a day, sometimes it takes a little bit more time, but I'm not too worried about like this thing clicking eventually. It's just time is what it takes.
Thank you, Zop. Throwing it back to the guys for some action.
All right, we got the invade from Cloud9 here at the blue buff of Immortals. It's a smite fight for the level 1 buff. Or is he just going to lose all his patience? No, they've got him stuck there with a half bar of patience at the very edge of the ramp. That's Blabber able to get the level 2. This could go very bad for Immortals. Damage coming through there. Flash force out from Hakuo, and that's a successful invade from C9.
And he's sticking around for the Gromp. Xmithie still has his smite. I like what Xmithie's doing, because he could easily get level 2 off of here. Liked the early play, don't like to stay for the Gromp by C9. Yeah, and he ends up backing away. Wow, that's what you can do a little bit with Tahm Kench or Braum, as you try and do those early level 1 invades to get pressure, but overall well played.
Cloud9 expending their own heal in that one, so it means that they will be down that combat summoner if Xmithie wants to get involved in a bottom lane gank early on. They'll have a bit more damage in that one, but it's even scarier for this side of Immortals because of the fact that Hakuo doesn't have that flash. Mid lane here, Ica versus Niski. Niski taking control of the lane early on. Pantheon, we remember him back in the Worlds days where he was just pick ban tier. And by pick ban tier, I mean banned the entire time except for one pick during the play-in stage because he was just that strong. Obviously been toned down since then, but still a very powerful duelist.
Yeah, and incredibly reliable gank support. The thing you'll want to do on Pantheon, and you can see it when you're kind of over his head, when he's fully stacked on his passive, it means his W will have 3 auto attacks afterwards, which will nearly full stack his passive again. So you wait until you're full, you W when you auto 3 times, and then you have a choice. You can either auto again and get an empowered Q, or you can just Q and then get an empowered E, which will be 3 seconds of directional invulnerability.
Which is a lot.
Really, really hard to trade back into and great for gank assist.
So oh no, Blabber! That is not where the Cocoon wanted to go, brother. I agree, guy in the audience. I agree.
I heard somebody else be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, how do you miss that Cocoon? How do you miss that Cocoon?
I don't know.
Was there a juke that I missed?
I was trying to come up with something clever to say I don't have anything. That's a personal error there on Blabber, not finding the Cocoon on that one. I mean, Soaz is able to walk away pretty effortlessly, and no real summoner spells, no anything expended in the top side there.
Soaz did actually walk a little irregularly. I just watched it back. It looked like he was just juking permanently, which is something you should probably do. Most people are, don't think to do that, but still, what? How do you miss that? All right, I'm not on that. It was a good gank attempt.
It happened, it's done. We must move on as bottom side Xmithie, although he lost that starting blue, he doesn't feel too bad. He's still able to not get double crabbed, so he grabs the bottom side Scuttle Crab. You can see Blabber farming up his chicken camp. He's level 4 compared to Xmithie's 3. Barrel rolling in there, trying to steal away some little chickens if possible, but won't be so. Niski trying to trade there with Ica, throwing out the wind wall to try to block a spear in trade, but Niski wisely saving it until afterwards. Finding a really good trade onto Ica here. Ignite drop down, nicely done! Solo kill for Niski.
Yep, Pantheon's pretty strong. Now, Ica was confident there because his support was in River. So he's thinking, all right, if this guy goes in, it's fine. It's not fine. No. Still Pantheon. He's very strong. But yeah, a misplay by Ica there, flashing a little bit late, still got flash followed by Niski and not respecting the Ignite. So watching this, he's just trying to get his wave into the turret. That's all he's trying to do. That's the 3 seconds, is trying to track his spells. Yeah, the empowered Q post-flash, very well played by Niski.
It's like one of those old Spike TV shows where they ask who would win between the Spartan and the Samurai. Well, we don't need a 30-minute show to figure that one out this time around. It's definitely the Spartan early on in the lane, so to say. As we've got the serrated Dirk on Niski as well. Lots of extra power coming out from that one to make sure you've got the armor penetration through the lethality to do even more damage with those spears. Also, keep your eyes on Niski now that he's got the level 6 to see if he gets involved in these other lanes. As a mid-lane Pantheon, it's so easy to be all over the map.
And that's the scariest thing about this composition for C9 is Pantheon ultimate, GP ultimate, and an Elise jungle. That's some tower dive right there if they get any type of pressure down bottom lane going with the Senna Tom Kench. And then after that, they're going to have the Tom Kench ult to go with all these globals. So this isn't a team fighting composition by C9. This is very much an early game skirmish. Let's run over the other team. And the solo kill for Pantheon is a great start.
Infernal Drake first up here for Cloud9 means we will not see the Infernal Soul here again this game like we did in the last one. Cloud will be up next. Nice early Drake take around 6 minutes as we normally see compared to the last game where it wasn't taken until around 13. But Immortals hanging on here in the bottom side. Only a couple CS behind their opponents. The big story of this game so far, Jat, is mid lane. 57-35 in the farm. Not only did that death cost him because he died, it cost him so much presence in his lane, and Ike is going to be trailing for a while.
Yeah, still has cleanse, doesn't necessarily matter since he's just getting pushed out anyway. And once Niski has mid priority, we saw last year he was very nearly the top vote getter for mid laners. Very good at playing with an advantage for mid lane. They can crash either side with this Pantheon Elise pressure. Hello.
Okay. I was going to say, there's no way you miss 2 of these. Blabber finds some damage onto Xmithy there, but considering the solo lanes were coming to collapse, they don't want to seek any more violence here just yet. Niski goes right back to farming though, and Ika's just got to get very familiar with the terrain underneath this turret.
Yeah, you can see Blabber really trying to play around this Pantheon. But it is difficult though because the Gangplank can't get priority over the Karma. So anytime they do an invade, they have to worry about Soaz roaming down. In the meanwhile, it looks like they're all just prepping for this 8-minute Rift Herald. Both bot lanes recalling to match up.
I hope this one's a bloodbath. We'll see. Xmithy, level 5 here on the Gragas. Blabber the same, so smites are equal. But remember that Xmithy not having the level 6 ulti upgrade is way different than Blabber not having it. Much more important there for the Gragas. Vulcan not level 6 here either. Soaz coming in from the top side, but the fight's going to be breaking out. Gangplank ulti providing control. Damage coming through. Niski looking to grab the lockdown there. Hakuho and Altec on the run, but they're both going to find their way back to the spawn platform in a body bag. And C9 win themselves a fight. They don't even lose patience on Shelly, and they'll pick up the Rift Herald.
That was really nicely done by C9. So many times when a team is set up around an objective with 4 people on one side and 1 on the other, it's like, are you getting collapsed on, or can you be the ones that do the collapsing? And C9, incredibly decisive, say, there's 4 people over there and a Karma behind us. Let's just go. The GP ultimate plays just a little bit behind Immortals. Because Sven landed that route, it times great with Niski's ultimate, so they can just run down both bot laners for Immortals and pick up that first Rift Herald. Beautifully done.
Not only do they get them, but with all those summoner spells expended, that is all 3 combat summoners for the Immortals bottom lane. If there's a return visit from Blabber, or Niski, or Licorice's ulti, or pretty much anything, those guys are in a real rough spot. Again, Hakuo is still not having the box yet on the Thresh. We'll see how they want to play around that one as the top laners have gone in the bottom lane now. Licorice continuing to farm up, building an ever so slight advantage in farm over his opponent. It's even more worthwhile because you're Gangplank, you have the extra gold coming in. Looking back towards the mid lane, you can see Pantheon doing what Pantheon does. Every item is just a myriad of swords. Sword, 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 sword.
Yeah, how many long swords are in his build? There's got to be...
It's like 4 per lethality item. It's a lot.
Yeah. He likes swords. Either way, Pantheon Ultimate coming up soon. Rift Herald on the way. The question always is, where do you end up dropping this first Rift Herald? The ideal is they could actually make a play happen, get the first 2 plates down, then drop the Rift Herald for the turret. But good control warding by Immortals there. Lets them know Blabber's on the way.
But will they be able to send anyone to stop it? Niski once again getting the better of Ica here in the mid lane. Xmithy shows up. Remember, it's so easy to get your last breath off on Yasuo.
He's just 1v2ing.
But Niski doesn't care. He's so far in control of this mid lane. Aika's done a pretty good job of trying to catch up some in that farm department, but Niski's just so far in control. There's so much. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Top side, though, Rift Herald still not summoned up by Blabber. They're doing what you were talking about. They're taking down the easy plates with their personal damage and then waiting to use Shelly for the next two because her damage will always just take two of them out. Boom! There you go. More money in the C9 pockets. Look at the gold lead. Last game didn't have this kind of a gold lead till 30 minutes in, and now Cloud9 will take the first turret. A couple more auto attacks should do the trick, and that's going to put them up almost 4,000 gold over Immortal.
Look at those nice guys playing around Sven. Everyone leaves so he can pick up full gold. No jungle or support greeting to get their own items. It's the right call in this situation as well when you have that type of early game lead, giving Sven as much power as possible. But they're likely set up just right for this as well. They can do their resets, they'll get back on the map, and now they'll move toward Cloud Drake. They're just so clean this game.
Let's throw back to what we were talking about when we were first introducing this game. Sven and Vulcan looking like such a big upgrade in the bottom lane for Cloud9, and Sven just seems so much more comfortable on this team than what we saw him on TSM. He was part of the TSM roster that didn't click, part of the import with Mithy there, as Altec's nearly taken out. Niski can't quite find the kill, but Sven just seems to be in his element here in these first couple weeks.
Yeah, and it's twofold, right? Like the C9 last year was actually very good. They were second place in both regular season splits.
Took Liquid to 5 games.
They're going for Soaz.
Soaz, are you getting away from this one? Well, he got licked, and he got sticked. And that'll be all she wrote. Blabber grabs the kill on that one, at least up to 1-0-2.
Damn. That was just, they just make it look easy. Other teams have such a hard time making early game plays happen. C9, already 2 Drakes, 1 Rift Herald on their way to getting a large amount of plates. But to get back, as long as I don't cast a curse, the clean play, to get back to this, like, they're also playing around Sven. Last year, C9 didn't play around Sneaky. They were so much a soul lane team. Like, we must play around these soul lanes, and then Sneaky will be there in team fights. This team is like, from the looks of it, in 3 games, an early game team, however it works, right? Whatever is the best place for us to go is where we will go. It's not necessarily like they're camping Sven or camping Niski, but they're just making these highly efficient, aggressive plays, and they're 5,000 gold up.
That kind of malleability is awesome because it means that you can adapt to each and every game instead of always being pigeonholed into this one strategy that teams are able to figure out and play around. If you can trust every single lane to step up when need be, but also to play weak side when need be, not every player can do both. Some people are very inclined towards one or the other, as we'll see Licorice going for the trade here against Soaz. Root comes out, Licorice eats the orange, looking for more barrels, and he forces the flash out of Soaz.
And we saw what happened the last time Soaz's flash was down. TK came down bottom and they dove him. So that type of aggression in the solo lane, very beneficial to be able to set up more plays. It's the only flash that's actually down on Immortals right now. And it just gives another thing for C9 to add to, like, what is our next play going to be?
And remember, because we are now on 10.2, it means we're on the patch where the Cloaks of Agility have been nerfed. You can no longer just grab 2 cloaks early on in the game for Yasuo to have 100% crit whenever he feels like it. So that sort of a build for both Yasuo and Marksman has been removed from the game. And that means that we are going to need to see the 2 real crit items before 100% crit comes online for Aika, who's still behind this game, as Cloud9 will once again go in, steal things away, and Vulcan just hops over with a blast cone as Blabber secures the red.
That was well played by both sides, actually. Xmithy knew there was something afoot, didn't have vision, but by aggroing the red will then go towards the next closest thing.
Yes.
So the red is actually his ward, if that makes sense. And it let him know something was in the brush. Once C9 was spotted, they just pulled the red back to make sure they'd win the smite, get it, and now they go for their second kill.
Fun tip that's actually a really good tip for solo queue jungling as well. That's one thing that I remembered back however many seasons ago I first learned that. When you think you're going to be counter jungled, you shoot the whatever creep camp it is, you shoot it. If something seems wrong, if they're not walking towards you, if they run the other way, it's not the AI messing up. It's the fact that somebody's trying to set up a trap.
Absolutely. Now with the second Rift Herald, where do they go next? Well, they tried for the flash of Soaz. Rare misplay from C9 so far this game, actually going in a little bit early and without any type of space to cut people off.
Vulcan hanging around the jungle just to make sure that Immortals doesn't try to steal back the red that they lost there in their own side. But Niski will pick that one up to the side of C9. Duskblade done means that much extra burst for this Pantheon. It was Phantom Dancer, the rush for Ica. Pretty standard Yasuo stuff. Makes him a bit more survivable here in the fights. Couple that with his shield, and maybe he'll be able to survive if he goes in. But it's still very risky when Cloud9 is up 6,000 gold. Third Drake spawning here in 1 minute. Herald summoned up in the mid lane. There's no more plate money available, but honestly, they're so far ahead. They just need the map control now. Take down the tier 1 turret. There you go. A couple more auto attacks should seal its fate. And that one's gone.
Try and get Soaz while he's in transit.
There we go. There's some damage coming out from the barrels. Licorice knows how to play this. When he throws down the ulti to the side to cut off the escape route that Soaz may be able to use, Soaz is forced to run down the long hallway. He might as well be walking the Green Mile. There is no way you're escaping that gangplank there. Hakuo trying to get out. The damage comes in. Senna's almost able to take him down. Altec grabs the return kill onto Niski, and Immortals finally gets themselves on the board.
Yeah, misplay by Niski there. He used his E. It's directional invulnerability. His E wasn't facing the turret, so the turret just killed him as he was trying to do that dive. So good stopwatch by Hakuho to buy a lot of time during that dive, but Immortals is on the board, even though the Mountain Drake is likely gone soon. That's where they're TK ulting. Vulcan says team.
Where's
team's getting kills.
Where's everybody at? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they did manage to grab a kill onto Altec, and with the Cassiopeia down, I'd be willing to wager that we are not going to see any sort of resistance on this Drake from an Immortals squad that are 6,000 gold behind in 4v5, and that puts Cloud9 at Drake point, 18 minutes into the game. This could be a 24-minute soul.
This could be real fast. I mean, 23-minute with the 5-minute respawn timer on the Drake coming in, even faster. One thing that Ica did do is he's been able to pick up a lot of side lane farm. The one way that Immortals could think to try and get back in this would be get it fast. Very well done. He's about to reset and start healing.
That's true.
Everything C9 does just feels so practiced. Like,
it feels really clean, this game.
Yeah.
I am impressed so far. We'll see how swiftly and efficiently they can close this game out. Take another look here at how they caught Altec.
Yeah, sitting on a control ward. The Vulcan was already on the next play, but Blabber and Sven said, hey, wait a minute, we'll pick this up. No harm for us.
Definitely some for Altec. 1 and 2 on the Cassiopeia. He does have the Archangel staff complete, but it has not evolved into Seraph's Embrace. The shield could be really big going forward. He needs 70 more mana, so he should hopefully have it before the next team fight breaks out. We'll see how far Cloud9 wants to push their aggro in this game. They will definitely be the ones deciding when and where the fights happen for the long foreseeable future.
Yeah, they definitely want to continue to get picks. Their Baron damage is actually quite slow, so a lot of the acceleration is to kill someone outside of a turret, then go for the turret, and use kind of the Mountain Soul and Elder Dragon, if need be, to be the end game things. It's very much an early game composition that does need to succeed early. It succeeded very, very well.
With flying colors.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that like the Baron will necessarily be easy for the champions they play.
Still trying to just fight over this vision here. Dare Immortals to come out and mess with them. Senna ult comes through, GP ulti doing the same. Look at Ica's health bar. Just Gangplank ult and Senna ult did that.
Yeah, that's something Immortals gonna have to worry about.
2 buttons. 2 buttons.
2 buttons, and it'll only get stronger as GP and Sven continue to pick up items. Sven really close to completing his Muramana, which will really up his damage. But as you can see there, they didn't win the fight, but they got everyone on Immortals low enough that then they were able to take a turn.
And sometimes that's all you need to do.
Yep.
Winning the fight doesn't mean killing the enemy team. It just means controlling enough of the map that you can get something out of it. Top side, it's Vulcan with the Abyssal Voyage. C9 again, using these tools so well, making sure that they're taking advantage of the pick, not just to keep Senna safe, but to bring everybody around the map, control objectives. 5 turrets to 1, 6 kills to 1, 8,000 gold lead 20 minutes in.
And I'm so happy to see them use their globals and their gold advantage to continue to accelerate the game. Like, it's not just grouping 5 mid and saying we have a gold lead, let's kill you. It's just making these somewhat uncounterable map plays to get advantages. A lot of the other teams in the LCS only end up getting second-tier inner turrets, at least in the past, after first Baron, right? It says, well, we need the Baron minions if we want to push the base. Well, you don't if you're really clean and executing at a high level, which is what C9 is doing.
2 minutes until that potentially final basic Drake spawns. Cloud9 very much aware of that. Also sweeping out some of the vision around the Baron here. One of the ways I guess you could throw a lead like this is giving away a Baron to your opponents for free when you didn't mean to, so they want to make sure they're not opening up those doors for Immortals. Because honestly, with a lead like this, 20 minutes into the game, Immortals is pretty much waiting on a Cloud9 throw. There's not really a move that you do where you're saying, okay, this is our opportunity to go in and we can win here. It's how do they goof up? Because you need a big goof.
Yeah, and if C9 overdives, Immortals actually has a fast Baron, the Yasuo Cassiopeia would be very quick. They're just a long ways from that world. Mountain Drake up in a minute 10 and 1, kind of dangling middle turret that C9 is going to be going for.
I feel like they're in another galaxy from that world. That's a real hard one to imagine from this game state. See if that tier 2 becomes a target here, if they're just drawing attention to it while they wait for the Drake to spawn. Niski doesn't want to be the guy who overextends himself down here. Would rather have his ranged allies come around and help that one. You can see Sven in the mid lane is going to keep pushing that one up, pressuring multiple locations at once. Licorice is in the top side. He's got the teleport ready. He's got the gangplank already. He can be there at a moment's notice.
Yep, just getting as much poke in as possible. This is the one point in the game where C9 doesn't need to be accelerating the pace.
Tanky supports also all going Gargoyle Stoneplate Rush these days, recognizing that it's making them just so incredibly durable in the fights. You can see that being the first item completed on Vulcan's Tom Kench, as Niski continues just making sure these waves are shoved up bottom side. Mountain Drake, T-minus 10 seconds. Niski with the flash, the damage is there, and the artillery fire from a long way away means C9 has this soul on lock.
That was just cool to watch. Just the straight line of everything coming in with the CC locked. Karma, who went Ninja Tabby, yes, because they're basically all AD, but that also means you're more vulnerable to the CC chaining. It's a tough spot.
Mountain Soul secured by Cloud9 now makes it even that much harder to punish this team if they go too far, if somebody gets caught out. Extra shielding makes them so much more durable. It's now Elder 6 minutes from now. That'll be around the 30-minute mark. Baron is on the table. All of the turrets except that bottom lane tier 2 outside of the Immortals base have already been claimed. And this is where we hit a point where I think you truly get to see how well does a team use an early game lead, because this is where we see so many teams stall out.
For sure, and C9 in week 1 had the fastest average game time of any team. It was 29 minutes roughly. You'd hope to see them be able to close this one before then. They'll also have a chance to get an Elder Dragon before 30 because of how efficient they've been with things. So if it does come to that, you could see it happen. But I'm kind of expecting them, especially with the way they're pushing these side waves and how much threat Niski has. Niski will be able to push a wave in. If Immortals comes to look towards Baron, then they can put a GP ult with the Pantheon ult and just kind of dive in to kill Immortals, and that should probably do it. But we'll have to see if they can execute.
Worth noting, Immortals does have the items to make a recipe for a potential miracle turnaround in a fight. You've got Xmithy with the stopwatch to throw in a cast and then buy himself some time. Both carries now also on 2 items. Yasuo with the Infinity Edge Power Spike. Leandri's fully completed there for Altex Cassiopeia. But will it be enough in the face of an over 10,000 gold deficit? Cloud9 wants to say no, as Niski, Vulcan, and Blabber will roam through the jungle here, clearing out some vision along the way. They see the blue trinket placed down there, steal that red away, give that one over to Sven. There we go, pick up a soul as well. What's the soul count on Senna?
Yeah, last I checked it was 50. It's at 52 right now, so nothing extreme. When the other team runs away from you constantly, it's really hard to farm souls off of them. But as you can see, every cannon will be an auto drop. If he's last hitting the minions, low percent. And look, Immortals is kind of exposed to mid lane. This could be it.
Vulcan going in. Immortals are now separated. Altec under pressure from Licorice, but it's going to be so much damage coming through on the back end of the fight. Sven grabbing a killing spree there onto Hakuo. Double kill for him. Altec's gone. Man, Immortals just lost 3, and Sven counted them all up.
Yeah, I was ready to go into this whole spiel about, I'm going to do it anyway.
All right,
Be
go
like,
for it.
hey, like
We
the
got
vision
time.
line is way out here. It's getting harder and harder for Immortals to do stuff. The only way they can get Baron vision is if they get mid priority. But C9 was just ahead of me. The instant Immortals went for mid priority, C9 jumped in. Right? They knew all of the possibilities beforehand and just completely decimated the Immortals.
Baron now the target. As you said, this thing's slower than molasses for this team comp to take. You pretty much have to put 3 guys in the dirt and then have a flawless health bar state for your own team to go get it.
Yeah.
But sure enough, they got it.
It's like, how is this game only 26 minutes in? Like, it feels like C9 has just been stomping on them for like an hour, but it's been only 26 minutes. We've said it a lot, but C9 looks good. They have Baron now. Now they can break the base. After Baron, if it's not over, they'll have enough inhibitor damage to be able to go get Elder Dragon. Gotta feel good for C9 right now.
Looking phenomenal. Let's see how fast they finish this one off. Red buff picked up there for Sven. 5-0-3 on this Senna.
Yeah.
Just popping off, man. Popping off.
RFC completed, 61 souls, so not only does he have the additional 75 range from his soul collection, he's going to be getting the extra 150 range from the RFC.
Oh, here comes your initiation. Licorice caught out. Nice pickup there for Immortal.
Smart play by Ica and the team right there. They could even try and get that turret if they were willing to trade a little bit more. I think Ica's going to stick around and get it, so